Hey everybody, this is Burnaflick. I am Eugene, and I'm joined with Murph, Jonah, and we have a special guest today, Bareka.
Hello.
Are we using last names? Fuck, sorry, that's what I'm used
We
to.
can do anything.
Yeah. Would you like to be referred to as Bareka, or how should we do that?
I think we'll just go by Thomas.
Thomas. We're
Thomas.
doing Thomas. All right, cool.
Thomas.
This
Tommaso.
episode we're gonna be talking about Sideways, starring Paul Giamatti. I don't even know who it's directed by. I didn't even look that up.
Seems like a Linklater type of thing, you know?
It does kind of have that like old Linklater indie film quality to it. Yeah. But yeah, the movie's about Paul Giamatti. He's like a sad middle-aged guy. He's a middle school teacher teaching English, and his main passion in life is wine. And the movie is about him and his buddy, played by Thomas Hayden Church, going on a trip to celebrate his buddy getting married. And they just drive up and down California, seeing vineyards and tasting wines and getting into shenanigans. That's the movie.
I like the movie while watching it again. Well, while watching it, just made me like, I want some wine. Like this guy, like there's the passion, how they explain it, like, in their area, just makes you want just a glass of wine.
Yeah, like I'm specifically remembering the scene where he tries to teach Jack, which is his buddy Thomas Hayden Church, Jack, like what to look for in a wine, and like it shows him like twirling the wine, he like tilts it, and then like he talks about like all the stuff about the like qualities of the wine. I don't remember, but it's all very compelling.
the part where when do we get to drink it? Like,
Yeah,
drink it
yeah,
now.
yeah.
And he just pounds the whole thing while Paul Giamatti, Miles is just swirling it around, tasting it,
Yeah,
talking about, I can smell nutty,
yeah. And
all
a
these
hint
things.
of asparagus.
It's mind blowing that he could have that much of a sharp palate.
Yeah,
And you can taste every flavor in the wine.
yeah.
I think personally, I think like 50% of that's bullshit, but whatever.
One of the things that I really thought was interesting was like they're driving and it's like the first person point of view from the car, and then it cuts to the
Oh,
point
yeah.
of people like picking grapes in the vineyard.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was kind of interesting in the movie.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking that in that scene there, where were they going to go and take grapes themselves?
Mhm.
Because they were doing some, like quoting Paul Giamatti, derelict things. You're a derelict. You're a fucking derelict.
I love that line.
My favorite line in the movie. We'll get to that in a second when we
Yeah.
get there. I love that. I talked to Breck about it yesterday.
What'd you guys think of the characters? Obviously two main characters. I think just yeah. What'd you guys think of that dynamic? Because they're very two different characters.
Absolutely. One's is a self-loathing. What's the word?
Squidward.
He's a Squidward. Yes, that's true. Matter of fact, kind of had a little nasally Paul Giamatti again. Super. I don't know if he's underrated or rated where he's supposed to. I know he's not overrated.
I think he's where he's supposed to.
Mm.
I always loved him. Like that guy is a good actor.
He's great.
You see him in John Adams' the HBO miniseries movie,
I heard he's great in that. I've never seen it.
Big fat liar.
Big Fat Liar.
That's,
Liar.
that's literally the first movie I've seen with
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti. Big Fat Liar, dude.
And he's doing a show called Billions.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's it about?
Billion.
about billions. I don't know.
Billions.
To be honest, don't hate me for
Billions of
not
something.
knowing.
It's about numbers.
It's about numbers, about the number billions, and everything in between.
I don't really know what else the other guy's in. Thomas Hayden Church.
He's
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 and
Oh,
Spider-Man No Way Home.
fuck.
He was also, I think he was in
I forgot.
a movie about like some zookeeper. I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
know
that was like
He was an Easy A. He was a
He was in Easy A.
he was an Easy A. He was a teacher in the movie Easy A. I think, or the principal or something like that. But he was worked the
Oh,
school.
I liked Easy A.
Yeah,
a lot.
he had blonde hair in that one,
Okay. Okay.
just like in this one.
You know what? I just realized that Paul Giamatti plays like the antagonist in most movies. Like he played the agent in Straight Outta Compton
Yeah,
that tried
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like.
oh
rob them
yeah,
blind.
yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
And you see most movies you see him in, he is a miserable son of a bitch.
I'm
And
trying to
I think
remember.
True.
I don't think Sideways is pretty far off from that.
Yeah, just like you said, he's just a He's a miserable prick, right? Like
He was
quoting you.
also a supporting cast member in Saving Private Ryan.
Yes, he was. He was.
Uh,
The scene where he's taking his boot off, right?
Okay.
And then he's like, I want to get this little fucker out of my, or his hitchhiker out of my boot. And then he leans back in the wall.
Oh
falls
yeah,
down.
and the germ. There's that big standoff.
Yep.
And then
And
okay,
it
and then
just
they get
blows him
they
away
get
with-
they get
with-
blown away.
With
Yeah.
the M2 Browning.
Yes.
That was the gun. I'm pretty sure. They used.
What else was
Thomas
I
Hayden Church.
I feel like he's Tom. No, I was actually thinking of Paul Giamatti. So like Paul Giamatti, like
Thomas Hayden Church was in A Peanut Butter Falcon.
wait, really?
Yes, he was the famous semi-famous
he was the
wrestler guy.
Yeah, I
Fuck,
forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh shit.
It was the redneck something or the backwater redneck or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, the backwater redneck
Fuck.
in a trailer park.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Again, actually good movie, which was.
I love Peanut Butter Falcon.
You're not invited to my. And directed by Shia LaBeouf too. I mean,
Oh really?
Yeah.
I know he starred in it. I didn't know he directed it.
wrote and directed as well as did Honey Boy, which was a movie.
Okay.
Ba-
I've American Honey.
No, Honey Boy.
No, Honey Boy.
I think it's is that the one about his dad being like a radio clown and he plays his dad in the movie?
Oh, I don't. I've
That might
not.
be a different
I haven't
movie.
seen that one.
No, Honey Boy is the movie about the guy wants to be an actor, kid actor, right?
Oh.
And Shia LaBeouf is in the movie, but the movie is loosely based off his life.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's Honey Boy. It came out
He
in
was in a
2019.
movie called American Honey.
he was.
Yeah.
Where he was like a gangster type, where like one of those like wanksters,
Yeah.
some girl is the main character though. I can't remember. I've never seen it.
I forget what exactly happens in that movie. I just know it's a long ass movie, and it's very artsy.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying for. He wants to be taken seriously more. But
I take him seriously.
I do too.
I think he's good. He's just weird. Yeah.
yeah. So I guess we're back to the movie, right? Paul Giamatti, Miles.
Yeah.
I actually never learned his last name in the movie.
I don't know his last name.
I guess it doesn't really matter because everything speaks for his characters.
I
himself.
think like I really like their dynamic. I guess it's like your classic like comedic duo. You have your straight man and then you have like your funny guy. But like it's not just that cuz there are parts where like Jack like gets serious with Miles.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the scenes I remember is like he takes him to the side before they go into the restaurant to hang out with the girls, and he basically says, "Don't fuck this up."
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah,
That brings me to my favorite line, actually.
oh yeah,
the-
okay, no.
The-
What's your
the-
favorite line?
My favorite line was when it's like, "Hey, if they want to, like, they're gonna get drinks. They ask for Merlot. We're gonna get some Merlot." And he freaks out. He says, "No, God, help, fuck no! If they order Merlot, I'm leaving." Like, he's like,
I'm not drinking
I'm not-
fucking Merlot.
I'm not drinking any fucking Merlot.
I love when they're outside the restaurant. And he's like Miles, did you take your Xanax? You have to take your fucking Xanax. Before you go to the restaurant. And he comes so close to absolutely ruining the night.
Yeah, no, cause like no, it started out good. I remember like they were vibing. She was talking to him about like it's interesting like how different the two couples' conversations are. Cause like Jack and Stephanie, right, Sandra Oh's character,
Sandra Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stephanie, they're not really talking about like I guess academic things, but fucking
Butt fucking.
Miles and who's the chick's his name?
Maya.
They're talking about the I guess intricacies of wine,
Mhm.
like the talking about his book, like all this boring shit. But yeah, it's interesting to see these different couple dynamics because both couples are into each other. Like Miles is into Maya. He's just too like insecure to do anything about it.
Mhm.
And he's probably broken up about his divorce. That's
Yeah,
probably what it
his
is. Yeah.
2-year-old divorce.
Yeah.
He's just upset about it, of course. I understand.
No, but that's super relatable though. Like I can totally relate to his insecurity. I 100% relate to like the way that he is anxious. Because I think all of us like kind of experience that on some level. That kind of anxiety, especially about like someone you were in a relationship with, or someone like you like had a crush on. Like things just get difficult to navigate when those emotions come to the fore, and you can potentially sabotage any future relationships when those things are present.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
When you're spending all this time trying to figure out what's wrong with you or what you did wrong, you end up making it worse. Sometimes it could be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess it's neither here nor there, but I agree. On some level that I can understand why somebody's so down like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that also like comes back to another interesting character dynamic is the fact that Jack is like an actor in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And his best friend is a middle school English teacher. It's like
That's true.
complete polar opposites.
The juxtaposition there is fucking like a high amount of degrees away from each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I really like that though. I think that's like one of those subtle ways that, because like in real life, when that happens in real life, it means that that relationship is so fucking rock solid that it doesn't matter like where they are in life. They can always like get together and like vibe like right off the bat, which speaks to their friendship, which is I think their friendship is like really really interesting because how often do you see like I just thought it was super realistic.
I think Jack, his character, I feel like he peaked whenever he was on that soap opera. about
Oh
the
yeah,
doctor, and
Yeah.
obviously he was using that role to get pretty much whatever he wanted.
riding the wave.
And then now he's doing infomercials for like melanoma or some shit. And
5.8 APR.
yeah.
I think Miles, I think he has I don't think he's reached his potential yet. And I don't think they ever really you never see that in the movie until the very end where he's like, you can tell that he's potentially over his ex-wife and he goes to Maya's house.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, there's that level of self-deprecation. Man, I forgot where I was gonna go with this. Where Howie said he was talking. They were leaving one of the wineries, and he was talking to Jack, and he's saying like a woman like her wouldn't like someone like me. Like
Yeah.
like a guy my age should have. She wants somebody with a guy with my age should have money, and I don't have that. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want to deal with that kind of stuff. But he just doesn't realize that she likes this guy for what he is. Like he's a writer.
Yep.
She loves his books, or his book. She likes
Sorry.
no. She likes everything about him, and they have something in common. They both have that very very what's the word dire feeling for wine.
Yeah.
They both
Yeah.
are super passionate about it,
Yes.
and that's what's beautiful, and that's what she cares about too.
Can we talk about that scene where they go to Stephanie's house and Stephanie and Jack, they're hooking up like immediately.
Yes,
But fucking
they went outside.
Miles and
about-
Maya. First they start out in the
on the-
kitchen.
No, they're sitting down on the couch.
They said
Oh,
they were
on
in
the
the
couch?
kitchen. They were in the kitchen.
Then
Then,
they went to the
they
couch.
came in the living room of the couch.
Okay.
And then
They
they
went
went
outside.
outside.
Yeah.
They went back to the kitchen.
Yes.
Went back outside. Yeah.
And something about that, it kind of like, I don't know, it kind of made me feel nostalgic for a time when I was talking to someone that I liked, in that type of social situation. Like, it's very nostalgic, but also, like, I don't know. I felt very nostalgic about that feeling, that excitement, nervousness, anxiousness when you're talking to somebody that you're into and you know that she's like kind of into you and like you're in this conversation and but the interesting like I guess outside pressure is they hear Stephanie and Jack, like they hear them like going at it.
Yeah. You hear
So
them.
like that's kind of like this outside pressure that's happening on them as they're trying to have this like conversation. And I don't think it takes away from the scene. I think it just adds another layer of interesting I guess.
Yeah. It was definitely like a real. That's like a very real thing that happens to a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they're outside and they're talking, they're having this like deep conversation about wine. I guess their whole relationship is based on wine. It's kind of like their personality.
Yeah.
But goes into like this very like thoughtful like description of why she likes wine, and then she looks at him, and it's like I was watching the movie and I literally said out loud, I was like, "Are you gonna fucking kiss her or what? Like, are you gonna do it?"
Oh
and then
my
and then
goodness.
he completely like she asked him a question, and he's just like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom." He goes
Yes.
to the bathroom.
Oh my
I'm
god.
so afraid of messing up that
I
moment.
feel that so hard.
Or maybe he just really didn't want to feel good. He didn't want to be happy. I think
That might be.
I think at the time he just didn't want to realize or admit to himself that there's somebody that he
Yeah.
liked, and he didn't want to go through that again, or didn't believe it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that his fear of messing up the moment messed up the moment.
Exactly. Yes.
Because after that, when he goes back into the kitchen, he like sees her
the
in
mood
the
is dead.
kitchen,
Yeah.
That was a very-
awkwardly stands behind the wall, and then he walks in.
Yeah,
And I'm like, then he kisses her in the kitchen. And I'm like,
Yes.
what?
broke my heart when it
It's
wasn't.
completely wrong time. He'd be like, yeah,
Yeah.
my hands are wet. I just took a piss. I want to kiss you now. Not outside.
And she's not really feeling it.
Yeah.
But she was. But she was.
was though. Like that the question, by the way, that she goes in this long tirade about like why she loves wine. And then the camera changes and the camera like goes directly on her face and she's looking at the camera.
Mhm.
And like we are in Paul Giamatti's like perspective and we see her looking at us and she says, "And it tastes so fucking good." And then we're like, this is the moment. And he does not take the moment. He doesn't take the moment.
No, you blew it.
He could have literally said anything. I thought he was going to look at her and be like, so how do you feel about the weather this week?
That's exactly the thing to do. His idea.
So believable, though.
Mhm.
I believed every second of it.
Yeah.
There's a part where he's talking about how I believe everybody, like his ex-wife, is going to be at Jack's wedding.
Yeah.
By the way, Jack, they're on their
You could say it's like a bachelor
it's like a
party.
bachelor party. It's just them
Sure,
two.
yeah.
They went whining, and he's getting married within the week.
Vineyard
And
hopping,
Vineyard hopping, yeah,
And golfing.
and golfing,
golfing.
and golfing,
And
they-
to add, Miles fucking sucked at golf. He was
Yes,
so
he's
bad.
terrible.
Really bad.
He's terrible until the end. There,
I related pretty good to that one.
is being bad at golf.
Oh yeah.
I've
Me
never
too.
golfed. Never golfed. Want to?
Not a golfer.
I tried to play golf in Spain. I played 6 holes, and then I just drank Coors Light and drove the golf cart the rest of the time.
I think you're doing it right. That's how you do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
People
what I did.
spend people spend $40,000 to go to go at a country club just to drink beer. You know?
I'll
Apparently,
do it,
country
yeah.
clubs are very expensive to have memberships at.
Sometimes it's just fun to ride around the golf course in a golf cart,
That does
Drinking
sound-
beer.
that does
vibing with
sound-
the boys, drinking beer. Yeah.
That does sound fun. As a matter of fact, I think I just want to get a golf cart just to drive around here. Fuck it.
You know, honestly, the charm of golf carts have faded after driving so many golf carts
Yeah.
on shore duty.
Oh, it's rough. They're not fun.
Honestly, I love golf carts. When I was a kid, my friend's mom used to drive us around their neighborhood on a golf cart. And then
What?
when I got older, when I was like 17, I was hanging out with my friends and we were all drinking, and my buddy drove a golf cart like a mile to a gas station. We all had open containers in the golf cart, and we pulled up to the gas station. There was a cop inside the gas station.
Nice.
Oh,
And we just
Wait,
left.
how old were you guys?
17.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
fuck yeah. The cops were like, oh, 17-year-olds couldn't afford a golf cart. They must be 21 or older.
No, we didn't even stop. We just hit a U-turn. We just drove through the gas station and left.
Yeet. Never mind. Roll them up. So I think the part where in the movie, since, he knew that his ex-wife is going to be there with her new husband after finding out that,
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
remarried within the month ago, within
Yep.
a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then he talked about, I bet they're all expecting me to be, the asshole at the movie, the persona non
No,
grata. He said,
Yes.
persona non grata. He's talking about like, it's Latin. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for
It's basically saying that somebody's undesirable.
like
Yeah.
undesirable, isolated person.
Yeah, and the guy, yeah, exactly. And he's the person who's just gonna have the issues. Nobody wants to talk to. Everyone hates because he's the one just gonna make a good day a shitty time.
It's like all the negative and toxic thoughts that I have in my head, like Paul Giamatti is just saying it out loud.
Word vomits.
And like that's just really good writing, and like he delivers it so well. Like I don't even question it. Like I'm like, yeah, I believe everything that's happening in front of me. Like this is like I don't even say that it's good acting. I'm like, yeah, dude.
This
I'm
guy's
sorry.
The only thing that makes you realize that this is a movie is the fact that these are big act. Oh,
Paul
these are
Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti. Oh yeah, he's just acting. I think so. I can't tell because it seems so sad and so upsetting.
Yeah.
Get like fuck, man.
So like that scene we talked about, like where they're at Stephanie's house and like they're the two couples are getting together in their own different ways. It kind of felt like an almost like it almost felt like, what am I trying to say here? Like a climax. It felt like a climax to the movie, but there's like another hour of the movie left.
Yeah.
Like cuz and I don't think I realized that the first time I watched
It's
it.
a 2-hour movie.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is pretty wild.
For an early 2000s like comedy romance.
Yeah.
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 Like there's more shit that happens, and yeah, well, did you guys have that same feeling?
Yeah.
Like yeah.
I did.
I don't think it dragged though. Because I personally like I like their buddy dynamic. I like how different they are. I like how they talk to each other. I like the kinds of pressures that they put on each other. Like Paul Giamatti, like he's upset, like overall with Jack because Jack he's trying to get his last nut off. Technically, like
Quote,
he's cheating. He's cheating on his
Yeah.
fiance. Yeah. And Paul Giamatti does not approve. There's that pressure.
He doesn't approve,
In
but he
that
doesn't
direction.
negate.
I know.
He doesn't stop because
he goes
like,
along with it too.
Well, but he openly says like, "I don't approve of this." Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you should be doing this. You don't need to do this.
I think that's a really realistic friendship dynamic because that's kind of how it works in real
Who am I
life.
to actually tell you what to do?
Yeah.
I'm just recommending you don't.
Yeah, you really shouldn't do this, but obviously I can't stop
Yeah.
you. But I have to disagree in it not dragging totally.
Oh,
I thought the first half of the film dragged a little bit. Just
Okay.
because I think I was just waiting for really anything to happen because a lot of it was just him, I guess, like moping through getting Jake to the vineyard.
Oh, okay.
And once they were at
Yeah.
the vineyard, then it's like then the movie starts picking up. You can see Jake's personality come out more. Then Miles, obviously, getting Jake through these vineyards, and Jake's just wanting to party.
That's all he wants
It's
to do.
definitely real dynamic. Like you go on a bachelor party, and the guy that's getting married is like, okay, like you expect that you're just gonna hang out the whole week
Mm-hmm.
and just do all these things that you have planned. And this guy's like, no, I'm trying to get my nut off, and then completely like, I mean, the guy that's his best man's obviously like planning the week, and he is like sabotaging it from him, even though it's technically like his bachelor party.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's thing, he's doing something that he wants to do for him, not what
Oh, yeah.
he's
that's
like. This is
true.
something. This is
Yeah.
something I want.
Yeah.
But he doesn't care. He's just a good friend who just wants to tag along and do a thing, whatever he can.
Yeah.
He doesn't care what it is as long as he gets his quote unquote nut off. Right.
Yeah.
His last final nut.
I thought that was really interesting because, like, Paul Giamatti says, like, this week is about you. But, like, he also only wants to do things that Paul Giamatti wants to do. Like,
But he doesn't care. Jack doesn't
yeah,
care.
but Jack also, yeah, I really like that. I think that's super wholesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Jack is all about, like,
And he's
what
willing-
his buddy wants to do.
and he's willing to learn about these things too. He's like,
Yes.
yeah, man. Like, teach me about these things. Teach me
Yeah.
the wine.
Oh,
But
did
when do
you
I get to
notice?
drink it?
Did you notice, like, he got more into wine after, like, he got with Stephanie?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I really think I'm learning about this stuff, man. Like, we went and tasted Pinot grapes, and they have a really high potential after the picking season.
At one point, he thought about opening his own vineyard.
Well, yeah, he was saying,
that, yeah.
I can handle the business part. You do everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's like, I'm willing to do this. I'm like,
Back out of the wedding.
I just remember when he was
Get out
talking
here.
about like how he went to the vineyard with Stephanie. Paul Giamatti just looks at him in disgust the entire time.
Honestly, for a moment, I thought he was gonna back out of the wedding and then just be with Stephanie. I thought that was gonna.
Yeah, that's
It could have happened. Who knows?
Yeah.
he would have done it. I'm like, yeah, it seems like he had a good life. Look at the house he was living in. Like the guy who's only been in infomercials. What does your fiance do?
To be honest, I don't think it would have happened.
Hmm.
I don't think it would have happened because he flipped the switch so quick. Obviously, she
yeah.
beat his face in with a motorcycle helmet.
Yes.
But like,
Sue her.
he flipped the switch like from in love with her to I should sue that bitch.
I love Christine. Like, remember that?
But I
Where
want to
he
protect
was
Christine.
begging. He was on
Mhm.
his knees begging, crying his eyes out. Please help me get my wallet. Blah blah blah. Please help me. Like, if I lose Christine, I don't know what I'll do. And like, he's saying all this shit, and I don't know. It makes me wonder. I guess people out there, they really do. They have no fucking clue what they want. They just ride through
Yeah.
life.
In-
Uh,
I'm sorry. Interesting movie trope.
yeah.
I don't know if it's a trope, but the part where how Miles accidentally spilled the beans about him being married. He says, "Oh no,
Oh yeah.
he's
rehearsal
dinner's on
dinner.
Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, who's getting married?" And then tells like,
Yeah.
The thing is, right? When Jack was asking, like, did you say anything? Did you like, no, I didn't say. Somebody else must have said it. He never actually. In some movies say when they get caught in like, was it me? Like,
Yeah.
I told her. Movies do that where they like the characters will admit these things, but he never did.
Yeah, he was like, no, it's the fucking wino bartender.
It was that asshole. Like, well, you mean you told him?
Yeah.
No, we told him.
Another thing that I thought about interestingly enough is like, what if Jack would have just been open and honest with Stephanie from the beginning? If
We
they
would
still
have
would have hooked
a
up.
completely different movie.
That's true. Or maybe they would have been with
yeah.
it. Who knows?
Yeah.
They could have been true. Yeah.
I think the only one would have been with it was the waitress. The
Oh,
last-
Maya?
Oh
No,
my
no, no.
god.
No,
Oh,
waitress
her, the
Yeah, the fan.
with the cuck husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, her name Cammy.
Cammy.
No, I don't. So I played this movie on Cruise Mess on the Providence, and that scene where the guy runs out.
Oh my
that
god.
that scene, everybody on Cruise Mess just immediately died. And yeah.
I'm with you. on that.
You sit there like he's in the house,
Yeah.
and then he's like, when it said, I watched it with subtitles on,
Me too.
and I saw in parentheses Cammy moaning, and I was like, okay, so I was like, oh, is her husband like beating the shit out of her because she cheated on him? Completely wrong. He's sitting there and he's like peeking around the doorway, and you're like, is he watching them, or like is he looking for the wallet?
Yeah.
And it finally cuts to the wallet, and you're like, oh my god, is he gonna run and go get it? And he does. It was
does.
amazing.
He's like, oh, I got the wall. Oh my god, you got it! I can't believe it.
He runs. The camera is just like, you see him coming out of the door, and like, this guy's naked, and then you see like, oh my god, this guy's naked. They're showing everything.
Yes. This is swinging dick everywhere. Jesus, what's going on?
Wait, by the way, I learned this recently. So penises, you can only show a penis on the big screen if it's flaccid.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
I learned this fact before I rewatched this movie, and then I was watching that scene, and I was like, intently looking at his penis, like, is that flaccid or is that erect? It was flaccid. Yeah, they passed that test. That's how this movie was made. That guy had a flaccid. It's unrealistic, obviously, because he literally was fucking his wife 20 seconds ago. So I guess that realism is broken. But
I do have a feeling if I was acting in a movie that was not a pornographic film, I would also have a hard time being fully torqued,
some actors are just that good.
Leo, you know what you gotta do, Leo. Leonardo DiCaprio he's like, he heard this. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna change it all. Fuck
Just
the
fucking
FCC.
drop that thing down like an elevator.
Fuck the FCC. You know.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring those Nielsen ratings right up. Ugh. There's a lot of things going on in this movie. Miles' passion for wine, where they went to that one wine place at the end, where it was like obviously crappy. So let's go here. Like, oh, this
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
Like, you never been here. I don't need to go here and know it sucks.
He's such a pretentious dude.
He's such a yes.
Well,
Oh
the place they went to looked like a tourist trap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pull into the parking lot. And it's just straight up tour buses with like old people.
It was, and he know this stuff. I learned a lot about wines in this movie. Talking about
Yes,
how Pinot
absolutely.
Grigio, it's like it's amazing because it's cooled down from the Pacific Ocean at night.
Yeah.
It cools, and it takes extra special care. You need super special care to watch to take over this, and it's only grown in certain tucked away parts of the world. you
Yeah.
know?
And the grapes have super thin skin.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you know this?
That shit. So when he was saying that, like, I really felt that was a metaphor for Miles.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Because, like, he's talking about how this grape just sucks. Like, it can't grow anywhere. It requires special care and special attention. And, like, it needs growers who, like, basically give all their devotion to it. He's basically saying, like, I am this shitty grape. And I don't find success in most places. And I need someone to fucking nurture me. Like, that's kind of the vibe I was getting. I don't think
I'm also gonna make it difficult for you to nurture.
Yes,
me.
exactly. I'm a fucking pain to work with.
That's exactly. That's good. He is Pinot. Maybe that's why he
He's
loves it
literally
so
Pinot,
much,
dude. Yeah. I didn't realize that the first two times I watched this movie, but I definitely picked up on it the third time. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say, so, like, I like how, like, so the movie came out in, like, early 2000s,
2005.
but it has a super 90s feel to it.
Yeah, I thought the same way
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
I tried picking up on that. I saw that it was made in 2005, but in the beginning of the movie when they're like driving down the highway, he's in a Saab convertible and like, oh, this is definitely like 90s.
He also has the Motorola Razr phone.
No,
Oh, is that what he
It was,
has?
it was a
No,
Motorola.
It was Motorola. It was not a Razr.
It wasn't a Razr, but he had a cell phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is, I think, the most not 90s things there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
I think that's it. Oh, you got everything. Everything else in the TVs were. Oh, in the beginning, actually, we can talk about how he took money from his mom.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was just
yeah.
going to say something about that.
yeah.
Didn't you say? You speak. Sorry.
Yeah, so he's Jack and his mother are outside talking, and they go to her house for like for her birthday. He drops off flowers and everything, and he's sitting there staring out the window while he's stealing money from his mother that is in the bottom of an Ajax can
Oh, yeah.
in the
Yeah,
dresser
yeah,
drawer.
Yeah,
And that kind of, I don't know, I think that kind of like goes back to the point of he's a broke middle school teacher that hates his life, stealing money from his mom.
But loves vineyards.
Yeah, but loves vineyards.
I feel like he's one of those guys that he is so stuck on a particular hobby or passion to compensate for how shitty his life is. And, like, I'm just like, holy shit, and maybe that's me.
I think
Because I do that sometimes.
He only went to his mother's house really for the money.
Yes.
Because
yeah.
you saw he brought the flowers. Here, Mom. Puts them on TV. And now how
Yeah.
they leave, that scene ends, the camera, hands
You're
on
right.
the flowers on the TV. Like,
You're
it meant
right.
nothing.
Yeah.
Her birthday meant nothing.
And you know what?
Don't wake her up. We want to go. We need to get out of here.
That's another thing. When they came to the house, they get out of the car and he's signing her birthday card while they're walking
Exactly.
to the house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You might have done that before. Like you go to somebody's house and you're like, oh, I don't want to go to this fucking like birthday party. And then you get out of the car and
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, we forgot to get a card. You go to Walmart and buy like the shittiest one that you can think of that's remotely funny.
Mm.
And you're signing it in the car while you're driving to the place.
You get a birthday card, but actually it says Happy Valentine's Day on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like he had a falling out with a lot of his family after his dad passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
After-
that's something that's not really like spoken about in the movie,
Mm.
but
I
from
do
the-
like that.
Other than
The-
his book.
Yeah, from the book review that like Maya leaves him in the voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of unpack that at the ending.
I do really like that they leave his quote unquote sad backstory as a backdrop thing. Like they don't go into it too much. I feel like in a shittier movie, like in a Lifetime movie, they would spend a whole scene where he talks about his trauma and how his dad was like sick and like all that stuff to try to pull at the watchers
Yeah.
viewers heartstrings and whatnot. But
I really miss my dad. He passed away last year. I haven't seen my family since.
That's another thing that's
really-
overused in movies too.
yeah, and this movie,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this movie is not really. This movie doesn't really. It mentions it in a very like natural, organic way, which I appreciate.
Funny.
But about the mom and the money and all that, I love how at the end it's kind of like a punchline where near at the end of that she's like, "Do you need any money?"
No, I'm good. I'm good. I got everything I need.
Nah, Mom already stole it out of your panty drawer.
You know that movie I was telling you about, High Fidelity? It's
yeah.
It's exactly like it's John Cusack.
Okay.
He's a self-deprecating guy who loves music. He's a DJ. He loves music.
Yeah.
He talks about all music and what it's like to make a mixtape, how you're supposed to make these things. It's exactly the same thing. The movie came out 5 years before in 2000.
Okay.
It's about a guy, he
Amazon Prime.
HBO.
Okay.
It's on HBO. You can watch it on HBO or Hulu, I think.
Yeah.
But he's his girlfriend left him in the beginning of the movie, and now he's trying to figure out what the fuck was wrong with me? Like, what did I do wrong? So he tries to communicate with all ex-girlfriends he's had in the past who he's messed up with, like trying to figure out it's not him, it's them. He's that kind of guy.
I see.
Until it works out in the end, like it should. Like that's every movie like romance type thing.
High Fidelity.
High Fidelity, good.
We spent a good solid like maybe 5 or 6 minutes shitting on John Cusack in one of our episodes.
Did we? Which one was
Wait,
this?
really?
I can't remember
What
which
was
one it
this?
was.
We're
but
talking about
we-
1408.
No, we were talking about being John Malkovich, and John Cusack got brought up in just his acting in general, and we were shitting on John Cusack.
He was a huge deal in the 80s, though. He was. I mean,
I don't
say
think-
anything?
I don't think he's a bad actor.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, but I do believe you're right. We were shitting on him. I think it's some things he's done
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
in recently, relatively recent movies.
Recent movies are not good.
It's just
Oh.
him trying to get back to, hey, everyone thought I was the attractive guy in these movies and these love movies. Like,
Now he
say,
has
like
a
say
receding
anything.
hairline.
2012 or
2012, yeah.
that was a
Oh, he was in that?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
he was the
He-
I haven't seen it.
yeah, it was Chiwetel Ejiofor.
I think 2012 honestly could have.
Disaster movie, right?
Yes.
I honestly think it could have been really good with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Well, he already did it 2 years before with
Yeah.
Knowing, so
Yeah.
in 2009.
We got to get on this plane.
Can we drive the plane? No, but this doctor who this obviously is a Deus Ex Machina. Like I only have a couple lessons. Like, you can learn to fly this plane. Okay, I guess I'll drive this private jet
Mm-hmm.
anywhere.
Sit next to this Russian oligarch.
What the?
Yes. What was it? Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
Russian.
Russian.
That movie had such bad lines.
Oh,
and
bad.
such bad acting. It was terrible. And how he threw his kids up. Save my children.
fuck?
The movie was not bad. It was watchable. It's
Yeah,
passable.
you guys
It
are
was-
I want to see.
It
this
was
movie now.
entertaining,
Wow.
but I honestly,
Because it's a disaster movie.
bad.
You can't,
every time they went to a new place, everything would be perfectly fine. But after being there for maybe 5 minutes, everything started to crumble.
they're the problem. They're the problem.
They're the
honestly.
problem.
Just die already. You're fucking everyone's life up right now.
Yeah.
They're going. The movie's passable. It's watchable.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be like, oh, I can't believe I wasted my time watching this movie. You'll like it. Yeah. It's not that you'll love it. You'll be
Right.
like, hey, I got what I came
think
for.
Maybe I could approach it with a Sharknado mindset.
Well, I think
It's a little better than that.
Okay, all right.
It's a little better than that.
I think the problem with 2012 is that I think they actually tried. Sharknado didn't.
Well, yeah, we've
Yeah.
talked about this many times. How you said how Sharknado knows that it sucks.
Yeah.
It knows that it's bad. Doesn't care.
And that's why Sharknado has multiple movies in 2012.
Does not.
There's no 2013.
There's no 2015.
No, there isn't. Let's just make a Y2K movie.
They should come out with a new movie every year, and the title is that year.
Yeah. Honestly, Y2K would, I think, make a pretty good movie.
would,
the world,
right?
the world ending in
Yeah,
2000.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not too familiar with that crisis. From what I've read, like a lot of people freaked out. I mean, it it was before my time, quote unquote. I was just a kid when it happened.
Just a boy.
Yeah.
Just a wee lad.
But
Well, I like disaster movies too. That's why I like watching Watch Mojo on YouTube,
uh-huh.
and because I love the top 20s, top 10s,
Yeah.
and I was watching top 10 movies where the world actually ended.
Oh.
And there's a couple that are really good. Apparently, have really good reviews. There's actually one on Netflix right now called The Ritual. It's a horror mystery, but it's about the world ending. There's other ones. There's some Canadian ones. There's some called Miracle Mile from 1988.
What the fuck?
Apparently got really good reviews. There's These Final Hours in 2013. Got good
I
reviews.
love that movie.
These Final Hours is
The
good.
Australian movie?
Yes, it's Australian.
Yes, actually, I saw that movie, and then I saw Rogue One, and I'm like, Rogue One stole the ending to These Final Hours.
Really?
Because These Final Hours, how does the movie end? They're standing on a beach, hugging each other, and the fucking fireball takes them.
Oh yeah.
And that's literally what
At the
happens at
end
the
of
end of
Rogue
Rogue
One.
One. I watched Rogue One, and I'm like, oh, they stole the ending from These Final Hours.
I was
It's
upset to
Did
know
you guys
that-
see? Did you guys see Don't Look Up?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. You know what? My fucking mom tells me to watch that movie.
It's like a
which
very
turns
like
me off to it.
star-studded cast, and
Yeah,
the movie's underwhelming. Honestly,
Okay.
It is underwhelming, but it's not bad.
it has a
Yeah, it's
bunch
not
of big
bad.
names to it.
Yeah.
A bunch of big actors. Oh my god! If the movie's just a big, it's a spoof on actual world politics, vice or along with
Yeah.
pop culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how pop culture affects politics.
And how we would react to an actual like Armageddon.
Yeah, how politicians would fuck your life up essentially.
Oh, okay.
Is it a Todd Phillips
Yeah.
movie?
That
Todd
was
Phillips,
Todd
right?
Phillips.
Todd Phillips did
And the Hangover Part 1, 2, and 3.
Vice.
He did yeah, and he also did Joker.
Joker.
Uh,
All right.
yeah, no, I thought it was good. A little long for my taste.
I have
though.
not seen it, so I.
It's a 2.5 hour movie. It's a little too long to be honest, but
Too long for what it is.
for what it is, yeah. But it was good. It's
I,
okay.
whatever Leo's in,
It was a contender for an Oscar. That's all I'm saying.
whatever Leo's in, it can't be that bad. Yeah, I don't think there's a single bad Leo movie.
Romeo and Juliet.
Hey, no.
Oh, I heard it was good.
Oh, was it
I
Baz
heard-
Luhrmann's
I heard
movies?
that
are
movie
good.
was good. Wait,
I like Baz Luhrmann's movies.
Wait,
Like the
when-
new Elvis movie coming out.
are you talking about Shakespeare in Love?
No.
No, Romeo and Juliet.
1996.
So
with
they
Leonardo DiCaprio.
they basically
Yeah.
it's a modern spin on Romeo and Juliet,
Is that not Shakespeare in Love?
except they're all talking in Shakespearean.
No, the movie is exactly from
Yeah.
the actual play. They are speaking of. They're doing the play in real Shakespearean English,
Oh.
and instead of swords, they have guns.
Oh.
Right? And so like pull your sword, and they refer to the guns as swords though.
That's a really interesting fucking premise.
Yes.
I probably didn't like it so much because my English teacher had us watch it.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that was
no,
rough.
that'll do it.
Actually,
was
I
rough.
also
He was-
watched it in 9th grade English.
He was all about it, and he was like, my English teacher was standing at the front of the class,
Yeah.
and he was mimicking Leo the entire time, and it was like real rough because you got this like heavy, sweaty dude at the front of the class pretending
Yeah.
like he's Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, it was all rough.
Hey man, it's a movie about it's a story about these two 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds having sex on the first day they meet,
Mhm.
and then 2 days later killing themselves. It's not that serious. Well, it's pretty serious. I remember Family Guy was making fun of it. Actually, the other day I was watching it,
Yeah.
and they're saying, "Yes, this movie about these two young children having sex and killing themselves. We should totally, show these in, read these in 9th grade literature, teach about it in 4th grade." Except no one realized it until you get to high school that, oh yeah, they were like children,
Mhm.
not teenagers or adults. They were children.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure Romeo was like in his 20s.
No, he was 13. He was 13 or 14.
Yeah, I know Juliet's 14, right?
I know Juliet's 14, but I
Yeah.
thought Romeo was actually in his 20s, and Romeo was just, being
Like-
creepy.
You're probably right. Obviously, 1500s, 1600s. That's William Shakespeare.
Whenever Shakespeare was a thing. Yeah.
1400s to 1600s, I guess. I don't know. All I know is that, back then it was understandable. They used to do actual sexual scenes with men only, right? When they would
Oh,
act these
yeah,
out,
they
it
didn't
was-
have women actors.
women didn't
back
act.
Then. Yeah.
And then when they were doing sex scenes, they were actually fucking.
Back in the good old days.
Yes, exactly. So
Back when theater was alive.
yeah, where do we go? What
Right.
is this country coming to? What do you mean this country? That was England. You know,
If Trump were president.
everybody's cousins are always on the table. Well, I guess we've probably got off the trail here when it comes to the movie.
Oh yeah.
Did we talk about? Did we get a good talk about this movie? I think. Do we have anything more to say?
I think there is one thing I want to go back to
Yeah.
when they go to the last winery, when he's sitting at the bar, and the bartender's like pouring him the little tastings of wine. And he's like, pour me a whole fucking cup, I'll pay for it. And then the bartender's like, why don't you buy a bottle and take it outside?
Yeah.
And then he's like, he just takes the bucket that everybody dumped their wine into and literally just pours it on himself.
Yeah.
And he throws it back at him. He's like, he holds his hands out like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it?
And they're walking out and it's like, Jack's like, sorry, his mother just died.
I like that. Yeah. It's such a bro.
Yeah, he is.
He is such a good bro.
I mean, Miles has been nothing more than a bro the entire time. Like,
Yeah.
he's abiding and helping or abating him being a cheater, and
Yes.
he's not doing anything.
Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly, obviously he's staying where he's in his place where he like, hey man, I'm just doing the right thing and telling you don't do this stuff.
Yeah, he is applying the right level of mind my own business.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Like no matter their differences, they always got each other.
Yeah.
When he walks into the room of him fucking Sandra Oh,
Yes.
and then he's like, not now. I was like, oh shit, sorry. She's like, jackhammering her. Dun, dun.
At the end of the movie when he crashes his car into the tree.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I completely thought when he put the cinder block on the gas pedal, it was going to go into that person's house.
Me too. I was really,
I saw the tree and I was like, oh, it's going to miss the tree and go to that person's house and they're going to be fucked.
I love that. Those scenes where that stuff happens and it's just an awkward silence for a little bit and then changes scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I love that in movies when that happens. Because like, okay, it's going to be all right. But it's still funny. When he's leaving and he says, well, like, I'm not injured. Why, like, what are they going to say? I didn't get hurt. Well, you were wearing your seatbelt. Man, smart man.
Yeah,
You know?
makes sense.
I love
You're wearing your
I
seatbelt.
love the writing in this movie, dude. I think
Or he told him,
Yeah.
hey, I remember when he says, hey, you get your seatbelt on? He's like, yeah, I'm putting it on right now. All right. Where are you going? Plausible deniability. Smart guy. Plausible deniability. Love it. Genius.
He completely lies to him. He's like, yeah, I feel like driving right now. And I was like, yeah, okay.
That's man.
It's like, where are you going? He drives into the tree at like 5 miles an hour.
And then when he's freaking like, oh my God, what'd you do? I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. Another thing how Jack was a good friend was when he's telling him,
Yeah.
I don't care if they're not going to publish something. We're going to publish
yeah.
publish yourself. I'll chip in. Like, I'll help you with this because he supports.
He is
him.
so for the boys.
He's super supportive.
Yes.
And honestly, those are all my friends that I have. I think every friend that I have right now, especially you guys, would actually, if you felt that strongly about it, you would help me out in that situation.
Yes.
I think so. No matter, like, hey, like, I want to write a movie. Let's go do this. Let's do it.
Fucking do it.
Do it.
Yes.
Matter of fact, this past week, I've been thinking about it so hard how bad I really want to do that. Seriously. And
Write a movie?
yeah, I do. What's like a screenplay? The fucking like send it to Netflix. There you go. Give me some money. You guys, give me $30,000. No matter how successful it is, you can keep it. I don't care. Give me some money. For it.
I mean, they're putting stuff up like Marmaduke, so they got to put up our stuff, right?
Yeah. You saw.
How high is that bar really?
Apparently, they're not doing those like things anymore because allegedly they're complaining about how Martin Scorsese's The Irishman cost $200 million to make,
Yeah.
and they made nothing. Barely, they didn't make anything out of it. And they said they're not going to do it
I haven't
anymore.
even seen it.
It's
too
long,
It's too long.
dry.
I know it's long, yeah.
It was basically like a
It was Martin Scorsese without the cocaine, obviously.
it was like a love letter to mafia films,
Yes.
and
I see.
it was kind of boring.
It was kind of boring, to be honest.
That's disappointing.
Sure, like it obviously didn't win an Oscar. It was obviously a contender because you're not going to not put Martin Scorsese as a contender for an Oscar. It's kind of blasphemous if you think about it.
Was the CGI in Robert De Niro was bad.
Oh,
It was
really?
terrible.
Well,
Yes.
because there was one scene where he was like,
What, they de-aged him?
they de-aged him. So honestly, it didn't look that bad. But
Yeah.
when it came to him moving around and doing things, it was bad. Like
Oof.
he at one scene he was like curb stomping this dude, but it didn't look like someone in their 30s curb stomping some dude. It looked like some dude in his 80s curb stomping a dude, which was hilarious.
with a 30s
Yeah.
face.
With a 30s face, yes.
Yeah.
They did a pretty bad job with it.
Oof.
It's true.
Oh man.
It's like just all you got to do is just show images from The Godfather Part 2 and we'll be all right.
Yeah.
That's it.
We're good with that.
I have
Just-
not seen any
just-
of the Godfathers.
They're pretty
Wait.
good. They're pretty. You should at least
Yeah,
watch them
come on.
once.
Just
I
watch
haven't.
them.
I
Just
haven't.
watch them.
I know they're giants in the film.
And I'm not saying that as that stereotypical film buff where it says, "What the fuck? You haven't watched this movie? You're a piece of shit." I'm saying like you really
it's
should.
True
watch
though.
them.
It's true though. Like I should watch that movie.
Or at least read the book.
The first one's definitely.
Let's pump the brakes. I'm not gonna
Alright.
read books. Come on.
The first one's slow. The second one's debatably the best one, but I think it's the best one.
And the
Yeah.
third one.
It's all right. It's still a good movie, but it's
So it's like Star Wars.
yeah.
Well, because like you go from the first to the third, it goes from the 70s to the 90s. Because the third one came out in the 90s.
Oh really?
They weren't gonna make They weren't gonna make a third one, but it was like, hey, everyone's older now. We should do a Godfather, but everyone's older, and that's what it was.
Oh.
Which not a bad movie. It's just
Do they cast different actors? They have the same actor.
no same
Same
actors.
actors.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that a lot.
What's his name? Khan. What was it?
James Caan.
James Caan, who played Sonny Corleone.
Okay.
I mean, he was still young-ish, obviously, because in the 70s he was in his mid-30s, and the 90s was in his mid-50s, sort of, I guess, right? 20 years later.
Mm.
Something like that.
Mm.
Obviously, in 2004, when Elf came out,
Mhm.
he was in it. I told you about that, right? How in that movie, in Elf, James Caan didn't know if he could, like, be mean, because...
I remember you saying this.
Yeah,
yes.
and then the director comes in and says, "You're a Sonny fucking Corleone."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nerd. Struck a nerve. I was like, he's right.
Well, it's,
I was Sonny fucking Corleone, you know?
well, it's funny when they were filming The Godfather. Al Pacino originally was trying to get Sonny's role, and
Oh.
James Caan was trying to get Michael's role in The Godfather. And
Thank
Coppola was like, "Yeah, no, swap those guys."
Sorry, Al Pacino, you're a little too short, you know? Let's be honest here.
Is he short? I didn't know that.
Well, Al Pacino in like almost every role, he's like this fiery dude.
Well-
James Caan in almost every role is like pretty chill
Until he
until he unleashes his Sonny Corleone.
exactly until he unleashes like the anger, the inner dragon that is Sonny
Mhm.
Corleone. Yes. And then it's funny how his son Scott Caan was in the Ocean's movies.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
such a small part
Oh.
too. It's funny. Another funny thing. What's his name? Casey Affleck. I'm pretty sure has actually more Oscars than Ben Affleck.
No.
Casey Affleck, I think,
Really?
has 2,
Uh,
or maybe 2 more nominations. I'm not sure, or maybe they have the equal
interesting.
amounts.
Huh.
Because I know Manchester by the Sea, he won Best Actor for,
Yeah, yeah.
which that movie is amazing. I thought it was
I
good.
really like Casey Affleck, but I heard he's kind of he's not a nice guy. I kind of heard that, which is unfortunate. But I'll watch his movies. I think he's great. I like his face. He has very like it's weird to
This
say.
is Ben Affleck.
It's weird to
except not as Ben Affleck.
I feel like he has a muted, like emotional face, but somehow like I can sense a deeper like thing going on underneath. I don't fucking know what I'm trying to
He's
say.
really
but,
good in
yeah.
that movie with Christian Bale and Zoe Saldana and Forrest Whitaker
What?
and Woody Harrelson. I can name almost everyone in the cast, but I can't name the
what?
What movie is this?
You talking about Casey Affleck?
Casey Affleck, Christian Bale, Zoe Saldana, Forrest Whitaker, Woody Harrelson.
I'm looking up Casey Affleck.
What's the
movies.
movie about?
It's called Out of the Furnace.
Out of the Furnace.
Out of the Furnace?
Out of the Furnace.
What the
Furnace.
fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh. It sounds like a gangster movie.
Drama thriller. Steelworker Russell Blaze, Christian Bale, works a dead-end job and holds tight to his sense of family, duty, and loyalty. Rodney Blaze, Casey Affleck, Russell's brother, returns home after serving in Iraq, and with his debts piling up, becomes entangled with vicious crime lord Woody Harrelson.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it sounds
Wow.
interesting.
That does sound all those names in there, like
I mean, they already got me.
Leonardo DiCaprio is one of the producers as well.
interesting.
He is. He
Huh.
actually, and Ridley Scott.
Oh my god,
I need to see it. And it's relatively immediate. I got to see this movie now.
Next week.
out of the
Question mark?
furnace.
Oh, it's free on Tubi, Amazon Prime.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that.
Sure.
Let's do a quick go around. Talk about summarize our takes on the flick.
Yeah, normally we do
Yeah.
a 1 out of 10 or 1 through 10 scale of how we felt about the movie. So I guess
I'll start.
Sure.
I picked this movie. I picked this movie because I love this movie. I first saw it in college, fell in love with it. I played it on cruise mess on my first boat, and this is my third time watching it. And I love the character. I love how anxious he is. I love how insecure he is. I relate to all of Paul Giamatti's like fucking bullshit on a very deep level. And I found the writing to be super top notch. I found the acting to be great. The dynamic between Jack and Miles really like two completely different characters with a very realistic and believable relationship. I thought the hijinks they got into were very interesting, and the whole wine thing too. Very very in depth about the wine, and it made me want to be more into wine. Personally, I give this an 8.5 out of 10. That's my take.
all right. I'm going to start up and agree with everything you said because I think everything you have put in there pretty much puts it all together. I love the comedic vibe behind it. I love their Jack's charisma,
Yes.
which makes up for the lack of for Miles, which is a great thing. You know, that plugs it in. It's enough energy for both of them. And Miles is, completely believable demeanor and self-deprecating ideals. How even if it's not on that level, anybody can feel sometimes like that. I know I do sometimes. So yeah, I feel this movie in a lot of ways. So I also will give it an 8.5. And Thomas?
So I thought the relationship between Miles and Jack was honestly the best part of the whole movie. It's super realistic, something that you would see in like everyday life. I do think that Miles was miserable for too long. He stayed in his miserableness a little bit longer than I think the average person would. I give the movie a 7.3.
Okay.
I'd like to agree on that point. I thought Miles was pretty miserable for pretty much the entirety of the movie. Even when I think like halfway through, when him and Maya were hanging out, I think it's like he was trying to be happy, but there was still that, I have to go to this wedding and see my ex-wife kind of deal going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it dragged a little bit towards the beginning. I'd give this a 7.
7. I agree.
All right.
I agree with everyone's here. It's very, very straightforward because the movie, super enjoyable. Looks like we have a 7.8 average for this movie.
7.8. That is the Burnaflix score.
Burnaflix score of 7.8.
Sideways.
I forgot to say before we sign off here and
Yeah.
talk about the movie we're going to see next. I really, honest to God, once he found out his ex-wife was pregnant, I thought he was going home to kill himself. Because he went into his closet. I thought he was going to get a gun or something, and that was it.
Yeah.
But he went to get, a really old bottle of wine as he get drunk at some burger place.
Yeah. Oh
Swear
my
to God, I thought that's where the movie's going to end it. I thought he's just going to fucking just blow his head off.
I thought it was a sign when he came home from teaching, and he opens up the fridge, but then he hears the voicemail from Maya, and then he goes to see Maya.
Yeah.
I hated how it ended.
Oh,
I wish it had at least shown him walking into her apartment.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
did she answer the door?
What if
Was she
wasn't
home?
there?
What if
actually
she? Yeah.
breaking
What if
in?
she didn't live there anymore? What are you doing in my house?
Or what if she was naked? It's like, I never told you where I lived. we never actually talked about this.
This was not briefed.
No.
Or she was actually married.
Or she could have been, yes.
Hey, so this is like a pre-cell phone world, even though there is a cell phone in this movie. But there are a bunch of things that happen that like where in a normal situation, like leaving the voice messages and like sending letters, like I I don't know, something about that. Like I really liked that, and that's not really a thing anymore these days.
You don't get emails from your love.
It's like I feel as though this could have been,
Yeah.
an email. It could have been a text message.
I remember like when I was in like a teenager, me and this one girl, we would send letters to each other, and like it would be our way of, I guess, it's weird because it's not like we didn't have cell phones, but we chose to do the letter thing because we found it like romantic or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe that romanticism has grown out of me, and well, realistically, being on submarines beat any of that out of my out of my
Yeah,
soul.
send me an email.
Just text me.
Something on the low side though, right?
My
don't
my
even-
favorite thing that made me like solidified it being an early 2000s movie was them walking home from the bar.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
Taking an Uber, a cab, or something like that.
Mhm.
So I guess we're gonna talk about the movie. What next?
Yeah, so we got Murph going on with the next podcast. What you got for us?
Unless if you wanted to be in the next one, if you wanted to say it, I can take it next time, or I'll just. If you want to be part of the next one, I can let you choose the movie since it's your first time.
I will
like.
be on the next one, but I don't want to choose the next movie.
Okay. All right. So then.
I was not prepared for that decision.
Okay. Fine.
That's fine. Well, if Jonah's all right with it, cool. Next podcast, it'll be you.
It'll be Thomas
Yeah.
doing the next one, I guess. If you're cool with that.
No, it's fine. It's totally cool. I don't even care.
All right. So the movie I want to pick is actually I wanted to go to an action movie. You know, I want
Yes.
to. We've done a lot of very artsy picks.
Well, no,
Yeah.
last week was Clash of the Titans. Now that
Okay,
that
true.
Technically,
Yeah.
action.
I guess we can
Technically.
technically. We spent a lot of time talking about how we didn't like it, but also sort of did.
I kind of liked it.
It had a
I liked it.
I
Yes,
kind of liked it.
endearing campiness to it. Yes.
It did. The movie I pick actually, and we were talking about it a couple a long time ago, but I really wanted to do the movie Collateral with
Yes.
Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is an assassin, a hired gunman, hired assassin, and he essentially is utilizing Jamie Foxx as a getaway driver for each and every assassination per the night. Movie came out, I think, in 2006 or 7. Can't remember. I guess we can talk about the actual a summary of the movie. The movie is from 2004. It's a thriller crime.
Mhm.
It's got an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, 71 on Metacritic. Here it is. It's after a long day, LA taxi driver Max is about to knock off when sharp-suited Vincent offers him $600 to make 5 stops. Sounds good until Vincent turns out to be a merciless hitman, and each one of those stops involves a hit. As the night goes on, Max starts to wonder if he'll live to see the sunrise, as the pair are hunted by the police and the FBI. I remember I used to have the DVD a long time ago, before I really understood and appreciated movies.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
On the DVD cover, is Jamie Foxx on the cover or is it just Tom Cruise?
I think he's on the cover. It's one of those things where the main character, the star, is like in the front, faded on the side, while
Okay.
the supporting actors in the back looking all serious. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's actually that. It's just
that's what I remember.
it's just
too.
Tom Cruise sitting there with a gun. I
That's-
think it's a gun in
that's
his
what I
hand.
remember.
I think most Tom Cruise movies have just him on the front.
Hey,
That's probably in his contract.
like, I need to be.
Listen, I need to be on the front. What I honestly don't care how this movie's made,
Yeah.
what kind of money we make.
No
I
are
should
their
be in-
faces.
Have you seen that the pictures of people realizing that Tom Cruise's teeth are not are perfectly centered?
Oh, I have seen that. Is
Has
that
big-
photoshopped or is that real?
It's real.
Oh
I was
my
watching it, so I was in the beginning. I saw Top Gun Maverick the other
Yeah.
day.
I heard it was really good.
It was pretty good,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it was way better than Top Gun.
Bad luck.
Yes.
We're not on the same one
No,
anymore.
no. This is good luck.
This,
Negates.
the movie can't hurt you anymore.
Yeah, you're safe. I hope. And he talked about in the beginning, and before the movie started, is that it was just him speaking to the audience,
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, we use real F-18s in this movie."
Oh, really?
yeah.
There's like a pre-movie brief?
Yeah, he's telling
That's
like, "I want you all to
hilarious.
like, we spent a lot of money and a lot of time getting this movie perfect, so people can be fully immersed in this experience."
Holy shit.
And I was looking at his teeth the entire time, like, yeah, it's in the center, cannot be unseen.
So he has 3 front teeth instead of 2.
He essentially does, yes.
Wow.
So that will be the movie Collateral, starring Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise,
And his front teeth.
and his front teeth. It's three front teeth to be exact.
I love it.
So that's me personally signing off for today.
Cool. I think that's all we got. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.